Another day, another self-tape. Okay, today I had a self-tape for another Chicago show. If you watch any of my previous videos, you know I am an actress who is in Chicago, Myesha-Tiara, actress, director, theater owner, book reader, and your local Chicago mamacita. Ay. For this, I decided I wanted to do a little bit more makeup, definitely filling my brows, okay? I am very sparse in the brow department, so it's always a filling brow moment for me, no matter I'm deciding to be that day. I'm like, let me just fill in these brows, honey, because the good Lord did not bless me with a full set, and that's okay. They fit my face, and they're sisters, not twins. So, hey, and sometimes they even cousins. And I have auditioned for pretty much every single Chicago show there is. I've been on Checkaville, I've been on Hole. However, I have not booked. But this year, a goal of mine is to book one of these doggone Chicago shows, okay? I normally get called in for the person who opens the door when the police knocks. And I know that sounds interesting, but it's literally just a character who is a guest star, and they come in, they say some lines, and they leave. And if you're lucky, you get more than one scene, right? They come back and ask you some more questions. Maybe you get interrogated in a scene in the future. But for this character, they came to my house, and I was with my father, and I called the cops because something really drastic had happened to my dad. Of course, like these opening scenes for these shows, there's something very drastic that's happened. So for this audition, I wanted to make sure that I looked just like a normal person with a very simple beat. I am not a huge makeup person. Like the most makeup I've ever worn is on my wedding day and when I do theater. In theater, if you know, you got to put on that makeup because guess what? They got to see you all the way in the back row. Whereas for TV, you don't necessarily have to do as much makeup. I'm not a huge fan of like a full glam beat when I'm watching TV shows. I actually think that takes me out of it. For me, a natural face for just basic TV shows is what I think works and what I see when I watch these shows. When I watch the clips and snippets of these shows, that's what I see. I see these actors having a very basic beat. Nobody's in anything overly dramatic. They don't take away from the main characters, and that's also what guest stars do. They're there to fill in the scene, keep the scene moving, and not to take away. I have a revelation that I feel like my guest spot is coming, but it's going to be something that I really want and I thoroughly enjoy. I also am working on revamping my wardrobe. A lot of the outfits that I wear for my characters are very similar. Like this is a turtleneck. I wear this turtleneck to work, honey. But it's very basic, it's very general, it's very you paint the picture of what you want me to be, what you want me to see. And I also do some test shoots because this time I was doing this audition alone. So sometimes I'll have readers and sometimes I will just dub the audio where I'll pause for myself mentally because I can see the script in my head as I'm reading it out loud and saying the words out loud. So I'll just pause and fill that audio in later on one of my editing devices. Always was taught also that make sure you're doing something before your lines start. Make sure you're in the moment before it starts. So I had my thought process being that had been waiting on them for a long time, and I'm so freaked out because my dad needs them. He's injured. I need y'all to come ASAP. So I repeat at least 3 times the self-tapes, and I say if I don't have it in 3 takes, then it's not worth it. If you can't get it in a couple takes, then it's not gonna get no better. It's just gonna get worse, and you're not gonna look good. You're gonna look annoyed and stressed out. So I'm big on trying to get it in 3 takes and then take the best take out of that take and hope for the best. A lot of times they say, don't take away from the characters, who are the main characters on set. But I see some of these shows where I'm like, that guest star is just giving. Like, they're very talented, and I am very talented, and that I know for a fact, honey. I've won awards for my acting, so this is not something new to me. I'm true to this. And I feel that the role that's meant for me to guest star is going to be an epic episode. It's going to be maybe a 2-parter, so I'm just waiting for my blessing to come to me and making sure that I am prepared for my blessing. So luck and preparation, success. All right. I think this was a solid self-tape. It wasn't necessarily one of my favorites in the world, but it definitely wasn't one where I was overly stressed. But it was a day of self-tape where I had it for a couple of days, but I just did not tape it in advance. But I am working on making sure I do just that in the future is taping in advance, which I don't often do. I do not often tape in advance. I'll tape the morning of because I'll be tired, I'll be busy. I got a baby. Y'all know how it is. All that to say, y'all break a leg out there. Wishing y'all all the best on your self tapes. And trust me, you'll see me on one of Chicago shows soon enough. Bye.